Good morning, business builders. It's Jodie here, co-founder of The 7 Effect. And are you ready? We're about to get stuck into today's Top Tip Tuesday. Let me bring in the intro. Oh, it's not going to work for me. Oh, it's because, we can't do any of the intros because I've upgraded Ecamm for some reason. So we won't have the fancy starts. Let's instead just get stuck into Top Tip Tuesday. And if you are watching live, which I see we have got our Sue Giacobbe regular viewer, thanks for being here. Hello. And of course, Suzanne Ingleton is here. Thanks for being here. Hello. And I see there's a couple of other people on live. So welcome to today's Top Tuesday. Now, it is awards season for business owners everywhere. I'm really feeling right now for Carly from SA Women in Business, because obviously next weekend they've got their big gala event and the summit, and with the new breakout with COVID, everything's up in arms. I'm hoping, because the Freedom Awards has a maximum of 50 people, that we're still going to be okay. I'm doing my check-ins on that. The only thing may be, and I have to check with the authorities on this, is we may not be allowed to serve alcohol, because I think there's rules at the moment where you can't stand up and have a drink in your hand, even at a more social event, at a non-licensed. But so far, so good. I think we should be okay to go ahead. Hello, good morning, Michelle. Great to have you here. And Michelle, by the way, thanks so much for all your beautiful nominations. In fact, to everyone in the Freedom Awards, I'm loving seeing you all nominate. And look, we've got Adair all the way from sunny Queensland joining us. It's good to make it this morning. I'm so glad that you're here, and maybe you can go to the gym after this. So I want to begin with some shout outs. We've got lots of people watching live. So if you're watching live, this could be a big celebration for your success. Another huge week of success for everyone. So firstly, Marianne Bennett, our DNA and genes guru, had her very first flying solo workshop. She did a half-day event around eating for your genes. And I loved that Marianne just worked her butt off, and she got 7 people there. It was 10 would have been sold out. But a week before the event, she only had 3 registrations. We had a coaching session. We came up with a few strategies, and she just went all in, and she got 7 people in the room. So well done, Marianne. First live event, flying solo. She hired the space, she rented it out, she delivered, and I'm sure it was awesome. Another shout out goes to Tony, who's managed to fill up her hypnosis 3-day training, which is happening this weekend here at the Life Design Studio. Tony has absolutely freaking smashed it this year in business, which is so good to see. She's got her business all the way up to having 20K months, which is massive. And it's really exciting to me when your students are starting to get right on your tail and going, oh my God, if I don't hurry up, Tony's going to have a bigger business than me in no time, which is super exciting. How cool is that? So well done, Tony, on that. I also want to say a shout out to Mary Palarak. So Mary, our poster child for It's Never Too Late, property developer and all-round amazing inspirer on abundance. So Mary's big thing is living abundantly. Her and I every morning on a Monday at 8 a.m. do a beach walk. Oh, look who, speak of the beautiful one. Mary, hello, this is your shout out. Mary and I were chatting on our walk, and Mary's been connecting with a few different networks and associations, as she does. Mary's the gun at that. And anyway, she went along to this kind of government initiative where they're looking at inspiring entrepreneurship in aged people. And when they say aged, it's more 50s and 60s, I think. Perfect for Mary to go along and get involved in. And anyway, Mary was such a valuable contributor to the meeting that they've asked her to be involved in some way, which I'm super excited by. The other shout out that goes to Mary is she's got her own life design session coming up in December, I think it is, at a cafe down at Seacliff. So watch out for that. The Ultimate Life Planning Workshop here in the Life Design Studio sold out, yay. So if you know of anyone that missed out on that, send them Mary's way. Also, speaking of events and goals club, massive congrats to Suzanne Ingleton. Suzanne finished up her weight loss goals club with a full house, 10 people in there. Amazing. Well done, Suzanne. And hello, Marianne. I did your shout out first and foremost. Great to have you here. And the other thing that Suzanne has done, which is a huge achievement, is started that regular goals club movement. And her first one, I think she got 3 or 4 people in there. It was a 5 or a 6 month journey. And by the end of it, it was a full house with 10 people. So well done, Suzanne. I know that you had some recommendations to change the name of the program to Holistically You. I want to talk a little bit about that and why that may not be a good idea. Again, we only need to test it, but I'm going to share with you guys some tips on building a sticky brand today. So let's talk about that and see how you feel about it. The other one that I want to do a shout out is for Carrie. She's got money in the bank, deposits paid, and Carrie's really making big shifts now to actually do in-house work rather than private one-on-one podiatry stuff, which is, not podiatry, physiotherapy stuff. And so that's really exciting to see her fulfill her passion of going into organisations, aged care organisations, and helping the staff create an environment of health and well-being by looking after their bodies and their minds. Well done, Carrie. Loving that. And the final shout out goes to our grannies. 2 grannies on a couch. They've been getting a lot of people around them when they first announced what they were doing. A microphone was donated immediately to Sue Giacobbe. And then a couple of weeks later, they were approached by someone who actually wants to help them put together and record and produce a podcast. So it just goes to show, when you find a topic that people are passionate about and want to hear more about, they'll jump in and get around the movement. So go Grannies on a Couch, which is, of course, Sue Giacobbe and Joe Puplet. And Joe's saying, Carrie Taylor, you are on a roll, go you. She sure is. And in fact, so many are on a roll. Suzanne saying, thank you. Okay, I'm all ears. And look, Suzanne, I give you the ideas based on stuff that I've tried and tested myself. And also based on the fact that when something's working, the worst thing we can do is try and get too clever and change it. And I honestly believe if we were to dissect what is the thing that's working in your business, it's the fact that you are overtly focused on how to lose weight, and trying to steer away from that and become all holistic, I really think is going to be a bad idea. My gut's screaming at me, no, don't do it. Like, it's too fluffy, and it might feel good, but I don't think that women go around going, oh, I need to become holistically me. It's just not something we pursue. It's a motherhood sort of statement. But what women do go into straight away is, I want to lose weight. And there's this kind of shame attached with the topic that we then think, okay, we need to evolve and start getting rid of that. But the reality is it's working for you. So I wanted to get straight into building sticky brands. Congrats, everyone, says Trish. Thanks for being here, Trish, as well. I'm just going to make sure. Suzanne says, okay, makes total sense. Great. Now, the obvious thing that we can also do is test ideas. There's a big rule in business is you don't know until you test things. Mary says, love the grandmas on a couch concept. Absolutely, Mary. I love it too. And absolutely, I agree, Mary. It's too intangible, holistic. It's such an overused word, and I've just worked with too many people in the holistic space who are not making money, who are struggling to get their marketing message land, and I think it's because they're being too woo-woo. Every time you cut through to the root cause of what people want to achieve, you actually get more results and your marketing lands. It's better to actually be straight to the point than airy-fairy nice. Marianne says, thanks, Jodie. Off to talk every mouthful. Every mouthful matters to Woodcroft School tonight. Fantastic. That's another shout out, actually. Marianne got approached by Woodcroft School, who want to roll out a program for their students, their teachers, and their parents. And she's come up with this amazing idea called Every Mouthful Matters, which is really important to her, that can educate people about food, health, and well-being. So go, Marianne. I look forward to hearing how your workshop went on Sunday as well. Sue's nailed it. People are drawn to the pain point, e.g. the weight issue. So let's talk about Donald Miller. Now, some of you probably have read his books. You will have heard me reference them. I know that Marty is also a huge fan of Donald Miller. Donald Miller is the author of Your Story Brand, or Building a Story Brand. He also has some super awesome online videos that you can watch for free, and his online programs are fantastic. So I'm a huge fan of Donald Miller's. And he says, when it comes to marketing, the very first thing we need is a capture all statement. And in fact, right at the top of our websites, at the top of all of our copy, we should have that bold statement that people want to achieve. Now, if you are in LBB this week on Wednesday, I think it's tomorrow, we have our final Copy Fix class for the year. And I'm going to be doing a masterclass on bringing together some of the pieces of your story brand. We're going to workshop some of the key elements. The first thing is putting together your statement. So let me give you an example, and we'll use Suzanne because we were talking about Suzanne's business. So if you're not in LBB and you're watching this live on YouTube, Suzanne has worked with me for 12 months now and created her flagship program called 5 in 4. She helps women lose 5 kilos in 4 weeks by going on a journey that is focused on their emotions and their unconscious relationship with food. So it's deep work that creates transformational results. And it takes this whole battling with diets and calorie counting and issues that so many people have with food completely off the table. It's actually ending the food fight as such that many women have, and the fight with themselves. So it's a very powerful program. Suzanne's results speak for themselves. She's got all sorts of measurable, incredible results that people are losing. Not only the 5 kilos in 4 weeks, but going on to lose another 5 kilos and another 5 kilos, as well as the measurements off of their body. Anyway, Suzanne could have a statement that says, become holistically you. Do you think that would fly? No. Or she could say, lose weight and keep it off. That's the sort of thing that people want. So if we're designing Suzanne's website, right at the top, we want to have a statement that says, lose weight and keep it off. Join the 5 in 4, or even better, get on the wait list to do the 5 in 4 program with Suzanne Ingleton and lose weight the easy way. That would be the underline. Now, this isn't perfect, Suzanne, but I'm making it up on the fly as I do. And then you would have a button that says, enroll now. And so that's a much more powerful, bold statement than be holistically you. Learn to love who you are, change your relationship with food, and feel great about yourself. Find out more. That's a much weaker type of statement. So we want to create for your business a bold statement, which is the number one thing that people want. And it should be aspirational. The next thing that Donald Miller talks about is, obviously we have these aspirations, these things that we want to pursue, but we also have these problems or these challenges. And the problems or the challenges are the symptoms of having what he calls the villain in our life. Now, in every business, we need to understand not just what the goal, the aspiration, or the pursuit is, but what is the villain? What is the thing that they are wrestling with? By the way, the villain is not stress or weight. Maybe the villain could be weight, actually. It's a physical thing, but it's those are usually symptoms of what the villain is. So for example, in my business, the villain is a 9-to-5 job. The villain is a boss that you have to ask permission to do what you want to do. The villain is the rat race. The symptoms of the villain, the problems that we have from that are stress, feeling trapped, stuck, unhappiness, and all of those types of things. So when it comes to working out how you get your language to speak, to build a sticky brand, we need to understand, and we're going to do this in this week's Copy Fix class, what is the high-level bold statement? It should get straight to the point. What do they want? What is the villain your clients are wrestling with? This is the thing that's ruining their lives, that's stopping them from being able to achieve their goals. And then thirdly, what are the problems that are resulting because of the villain being in their life? And there are 3 levels of problems. There's the external problem, which is the thing that's going on outside of me. So the external problem in my space could be peak hour traffic and, being stuck in that whole, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 grind. The internal problem is the problem that people are wrestling with in themselves. So for me, an internal problem for my clients is a lack of freedom. I feel like I'm trapped. I can't do what I want. Or an internal problem, if they've already started their business but not making enough money, is fear of selling myself, not wanting to bug or bother people. That's a very big internal problem that people wrestle with. And then the third problem that we need to understand is the philosophical problem. And the philosophical problem is the problem that exists out there in the world. And so from my perspective, a philosophical problem might be the fact that the world's changed dramatically and the job market is shrinking. We need to understand that it's not going to return to the old ways post-COVID. So what's the philosophical problem that your clients are wrestling? Now, we might think that we need to speak to all 3 of their problems, but there's one that is the most compelling, and it's that one that we really need our marketing to speak to directly. Can anyone guess which of the 3, internal, external, or philosophical problems, is most compelling for people to resonate with? I'd love to hear from you if you know. So let's have a look in with the questions. Yes, we've already read this one. Sorry, the comments. People are drawn to pain point. Yes, 100%. Sue. Suzanne says, yes, I do have a wait list. It's true. That's a very powerful thing, is to join the wait list to lose the weight. Ironic, isn't it there? Suzanne says, yes, the symptoms are the weight gain. Absolutely. The external problem could be, in Suzanne's situation, the media that we're exposed to, social media, and airbrushed photos of celebrities can be a big external problem for women in that space. There'll be many that you can brainstorm. Look, we've got it. Boom, boom. It's the internal problems that people are most drawn to. They are the things that will have people want to buy. So well done, Mary and Sue. You nailed it. Environment is very powerful. Absolutely. Our environment is super powerful. We become a product of our environment without thinking about it. The thing that most people don't understand, and I saw this in the workplace all the time, in organizational culture, when I was doing organizational culture, people blame their environment. Well, it sucks to work in this place. There's a really toxic environment. We've got really awful leaders. And so they use that as the reason why they've become miserable and unhappy. And the reality is that's absolutely what can happen. What people don't realize is that when you create awareness around how the environment is affecting you, you can choose whether you want to be affected or not. Not always easy to make that choice, but it's absolutely always possible. Always, always possible. Most people render themselves powerless, though, because they would rather believe that it's not their fault. And in fact, one of the best marketing lines, and if you watch really hardcore marketing, they'll use the lines, "It's not your fault." It's not your fault that you've put on weight. It's not your fault, because people need to soothe their amygdala and go, thank God, it's not my fault. There's some secret that I didn't know about that's going on. So it's a very compelling marketing line. It's not your fault. Suzanne says, the internal changes create the external changes. 100%. And this is why, Suzanne, your work is so powerful. So we know we need a bold statement. We know we need to understand who the villain is to your clients. We also know we need to brainstorm what are the external, internal, and philosophical problems. These are all parts of building your brand story. And we're going to do that in the CopyFix class. The other thing that I wanted to highlight to you guys is, and we're going to do some masterclasses on this in the new year, which of the 12 archetypes does your brand align with? So there are 12, and these archetypes are a lot of fun to understand. I'm going to read through what the 12 are now so you can plant some seeds. And then I would encourage you all to jump on the masterclass that I do around the archetypes in February next year to kick off the year. Or actually it might be March, because in February we're going to do some planning, business planning. But anyway, we're going to get deep into this stuff because I'm really obsessed with it right now and I'm loving it. And Adair says, it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility to fix it, LOL. I 100% agree. It's your opportunity. And finding fault isn't necessarily what we need to do, but taking responsibility is the most empowering thing we can do. Sue says, what is the title of the book? It's actually called The Hero and the Outlaw. It's reading to you back to front because my screen's flipped. So sorry about that. But it's by Margaret Mark and Carol S. Pearson. Jo Pupler and I, in her last coaching session, went through this book like it's a Bible because it's about to become Jo's new Bible. As you know, Jo is the style queen of LBB. As a personal stylist, she helps women, improve their look. Look at me. I've been working with Jo for a little bit. She hasn't even done the colors or the shopping, but my work with having Jo as my personal stylist is inspiring me to get my skin better, to start washing and brushing my hair. Just putting some care into how I look and not relying 100% on the filter of Snap Camera to do all the heavy lifting for me. Anyway, here's a quick and dirty review of the 12 archetypes. I'm not going to go into what they all are and what they're about because that's quite deep work. But Jo and I had a lot of fun in her last coaching session looking at the different style profiles that people can be. So, for example, you could be a feminine profile, or you could be a rebellious profile, or a creative, or a relaxed, or what else did she have? Elegant chic. There's all these different style profiles that already exist in the world of fashionista personal styling. And Jo thought, let's take that a little bit deeper. Let's align it with the 12 archetypes. And so we took the concepts of these 12 archetypes. And these 12 archetypes are based on the work of Carl Jung. And so there's a lot of depth to them. And they go back not just from Carl Jung's work, but him looking at ancient stories and the archetypes that exist in humanity, in human behavior since the beginning of time. These characters play out in every movie, in every story, in every group of friends. You have all 12 of the archetypes in some form in you, but you'll find that there'll be one that will stand up and be stronger or resonate with you more. What these folks suggest, Margaret and Carol, who wrote The Hero and the Outlaw, suggest is that every brand should align with one archetype and embody the things that match that archetype. And the way that we do that is by understanding deeply what that archetype is about, their thinking, their challenges, their fears. And when we do, we build a very sticky brand. So I am super excited by this. Let's run through the 12, shall we? Very quickly. And then I have one more hot tip I want to share with you that's super epic that I think you're going to love. So they are the innocent, the explorer, the sage, the hero, the outlaw, the magician, the regular guy or gal, the lover, the jester, the caregiver, the creator, or the ruler. And they're all very interesting in their own right. Each of them has a different look. They have different color palettes. They have different styles with font. They have different messages, different imagery, different things that they stand for, different motives that move them. So I'm really excited to work through that with you guys. And Trish says, the archetypes are very interesting and on par. Totally love it. And I can't wait. If anyone knows what theirs aligns with, by the way, the 7 Effect as a brand aligns with the hero archetype, because the hero is all about becoming the hero of your own story. It's about taking on that hero's journey and slaying the dragons of your fear and creating your best possible life by embracing courage and finding the ability to make decisions and do stuff. And so every single one who's in the Lifestyle Business Builder succeeds when they embody the hero within them. When they say, you know what, I'm afraid of selling myself. I'm afraid of talking in public. I'm afraid of doing all these things. But you know what? I'm going to be the hero of my own story, and I'm going to freaking stand up, and I'm going to have courage to change the world by changing my world and changing people's worlds around me. So the hero is very strong in the 7 Effect. Mary says, I could use the archetypes for what's your property design style. Oh my God, you totally could, Mary. You totally could. And this is the thing, because the archetypes are steeped in such deep human psychology and behavior, they fit with just about anything because they're part of everyday life. And Sue says, hence the fairy godmother for you. Now, this is an interesting one, Sue, because I'm the fairy godmother, which is more aligned to the magician archetype, because the magician is about making things happen in seemingly magical ways. But really, I, as the guide, because my job in my business is to be the guide, as your job in your business is to be the guide. As the guide, I play the role of the magician, the fairy godmother, who can tell people the simple things to do and then they go and do it. We turn your existing resources into the magic that makes people happen. But the hero is you guys. And that's why for the 7 Effect, I'm excited about the hero being our archetype, because really, we do well when we empower people to be the heroes of their own story. But I did think, oh gosh, is the fairy godmother taking it too off track? But anyway, I've resolved that. Marty says, looking forward to going deep into the archetypes. Me too, Marty. It's exciting stuff. Sue says, interesting. It is, isn't it? Gotta go. Great to catch you this morning, Jodie, and I love to connect with your amazing coaching when the stars align. Yes, jump on the calls anytime, Adair. They're there for you, my friend. All right, one quick last thing. Right now, I'm all over YouTube. You may or may not know, I'm not all over it as in I'm everywhere on YouTube and going viral yet, but I'm all over YouTube as the new strategy that I need to learn. And I want to plant this seed as something that you might consider for 2021 in your business. YouTube is a search engine, and Suzanne Ingleton would know that having SEO and her pay-per-click ads and getting her website ranking up higher when people are searching is going gangbusters in her business. What you might not know is that YouTube is owned by Google. Google is the biggest search engine on the planet. YouTube is the second biggest search engine on the planet. When people need to find something out, they go to Google, they type in, how do I lose weight? How do I heal this skin condition? How do I get rid of, whatever it might be? How do I start a business? How do I? And so people are constantly asking questions into Google. What happens is, because Google owns YouTube, right at the top, they'll stick a couple of videos up there organically for you to click on. And so YouTube can be a very cool thing to have a channel in and to actually create content regularly if you want to be found organically. Right now, because of the election, because of COVID, because of all sorts of things, in many ways, Facebook is fucked. Excuse my language, but We've been locked out of Facebook completely. We found that the algorithms in Facebook have changed, and everyone's actually just announced that Facebook's being a nightmare in terms of algorithms. And trying to run ads on Facebook is no longer as easy as it once was, because so many people, not just me, but I'm in the Black Belt program, and I've seen so many people be shut down, no response, no help, no way of getting open again. So we need alternatives. For me, YouTube's the space I'm going to be leaning into. And anyway, so I'm doing a program with Adrian Salisbury. Mary likes organic growth. I love organic growth too. And Mary, I love the idea of, if people are searching, I get to be put straight up the top of that by just creating some video content. So I'm doing a program at the moment called the YouTube Academy with Adrian Salisbury, who is also a guy that I did the Ecamm training with. I love his programs. They're very affordable. He runs them on Kajabi. Every now and then, I love his business model as well. It's like 2 or 3 times a year, he'll take 250 people into this evergreen program, and he does some lives and cool stuff like that. For those that are in the case study program, we unpack how he does that, because it's a very good business model, and he only works a few times throughout the year to make his big money. And then other than that, he's doing a lot of organic stuff on YouTube that keeps his funnels filled. He sells out his programs every time. Anyway, here's what he suggests. Firstly, start creating a content, but he says get onto Trello. Mary loves Trello. You'll love this, Mary. Let me just get my share screen thing up. Show scenes window, share screen. Okay. Oh, we got 2 of me. Let's not do that. Let's see why that's happening. Okay. There we go. I'm back. We had a double version of Jodie. So this is a Trello board, right? I recommend you open up a Trello account. Mary loves her Trello and is building a goals club type tool on Trello with the 7 elements of life in it. And you think about 10, 12, however many topics. So you open a board and then you go across here and you create all these lists of what are the topics that people would love to hear from in relation to your business. So for me, I've gone, all right, there's branding, there's marketing, there's sales, there's systems, there's program design, there's program delivery, community building, social media, lifestyle, how to live a good life, travel. A lot of my clients love to travel and see the world, events, how to host events, how to fill events, humans, as in human behavior, how to influence and win friends and all that kind of stuff, and why people do the things we do, psychology, etc. And then the 13th one is product reviews. Now, some of the best YouTube content. So what you do is, once you've got your 12, let me just go up here. Okay, go back here. Once you've got your 12 or your 13 or your 10, however many, you just go in here and then you brainstorm, all right, what's 10 different mini topics that I could create? How to facilitate a powerful BD meeting is one potential topic. So I could do a little mini 5-minute video on that. Then I might say, okay, what else works in sales? Okay, using models to close the deal. And then I just basically brainstorm what's 10 or 15 mini topics that I could teach in each of those areas. Now, I spent 10 minutes on this last night, and I came up with 13 in branding and 13 in marketing, or maybe only 10 in marketing. Anyway, I could spend an hour doing this, and I would have an entire year's content now mapped out, all ready to go. What I recommend is that you actually then spend maybe 1 or 2 days a month producing, where you just do all your videos, you get someone to edit them up, or you edit them up yourself, and then you drip feed those. So let's say you just did 2 days a month of YouTube content. You want really like 3 or 4 minute videos, and you start pumping that out. All of a sudden, you're going to start getting searched and found. The hottest way to get searched and found on YouTube is doing reviews of products. So you know how you see a lot of people unboxing stuff? They do that because it's how they get found. So anyway, I know that I'm running out of time, and I just wanted to share that tip with you all. There's going to be a lot more ideas from YouTube coming from me, obviously, because this is the area that I'm leaning into. But one thing that I can tell you is about a year ago, I did a testing the hype mic video when I bought my first hype mic, which is my first video microphone that I used in my studio. I ended up sending it back because I hated it. Anyway, the hype mic was brand new. That video has well over 100 or something views. I've never shared it with anyone. I've never promoted it. It's not even a good video. But the fact that it's got hype mic in it and people are searching to find out about the hype mic means that that video is my most watched video ever. And it's not even a good video. So we think, all right, how do we turn that into a strategy that has us be found again and again? So we're going to find out what your keywords are in your business. We're going to come up with some names and build your Trello board so that you know, right, these are all the topics I need to be creating. And we're going to help you get found virally by people who are Google searching. More on that as the year unfolds in 2021, because that's what I'm spending some of my holidays doing and most of November in my spare time. It's exciting stuff. All right, I got to go. I'm running late. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. I hope we've given you some great top tips. In summary, build a brand that's sticky by sharing that bold statement that speaks directly to what your people want. Know their villains. Understand the external, internal, and philosophical problems. Build a YouTube channel. Work out what your content could be. Obviously, I'm not saying jump straight into building a YouTube channel. And there was something else in the middle that I shared there as well. The archetypes. Let's discover your archetype. All right, have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, let me sign off. Okay, now I'm going. Bye.